Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back. Burning Abyss, previously a TCG exclusive archetype, has been released in the OCG very recently, so people were able to play them past weekend in the tournaments over there. Same with Monarchs. I think we all have seen the new support that they are getting in the structure deck, giving them a huge boost in both speed and consistency. So now they are definitely having a big, they definitely have a big chance to compete at a consistent level with the current top tier decks over there. Before we get into the statistics, keep in mind that this is the OCG format before the new ban list, because that will start at October 1st. So this is still quote-unquote the old format, no decks weakened just yet. So keep in mind that a deck like Burning Abyss, for example, that we all know very well, can be a bit different in the OCG, different as in other card choices or yet decks to counter their metagame. Other examples will follow. Let's get into the statistics. Remember the format from previous month, so August 2015. A very short recap. Performages and Pals were dominating over 60% of the top decks, so all available deck lists that were available to make it to the top cut, so either top 16 or top 8 depending on the tournament. So over 60% of the decks were Performages and Pals, and as I said before, this is huge. Clowns were absolutely dominating the other decks like Heroes and Atlanteans, both sitting at about 11%, quickly followed by Necros, only sitting at 8%. Surprising, since here in the TCG, Necros is one of the best decks and much more represented in the top cuts. And last, only at place number 5 we have the Magicians at about 4%, and this also includes Magispector Magicians, so any form of Pendulum Magicians, and that's quite interesting and surprising, but understandable, since Performages and Pals have access to that so powerful extra deck, the rank 4 exceeds like Shockmaster and Rafflesia. Last, the quote-unquote raw decks like Tellers, Shaddolls, Glyfords and so on take up the remaining 4%. So this was last month. Both Monarchs and Burning Abyss have been released, so let's see how their impact was on their metagame. So, as you see here, these are the results from past weekend. I'll also leave a link in the video description to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Organization website, so again, feel free to check it out. As we can see, as expected, Performages are still leading the statistics here, a little less than in August, now at about 44%, so that's a big difference between August, a decline of about 18%. There might be a few reasons for this, like the new decks, both Monarchs and Burning Abyss, people rather want to play those, that's a possible reason, I guess. Although, with the new OCG list on October 1st, Performages are getting the hit they deserve. No, just kidding. As we all know, Konami OCG decided not to touch the deck at all, bar the Ptolemaios hit, but important here is that Ptolemaios wasn't really main decked. At least Cyber Dragon Infinity wasn't really main decked in Performages and Pals, because it takes up too much extra deck space. It's also too fragile because of cards like Effect Failure or Ghost Ogre. And for some reason, Shockmaster is still legal over there, so the Ptolemaios hit definitely isn't enough though. Second place in the statistics, Monarchs, so they entered the OCG metagame with a bang, immediately taking up 19% of the top deck lists, and that's quite good. Here are a few examples. All the lists look somewhat similar. The important things are that both Aether and Terebus, the new Light and Dark Mega Monarchs, are pretty much stable at 3 in the deck. Very normal, I think, since they are the key cards next to Idea and Eidos, the two vassals. Kuras is also making an appearance here, an interesting choice since you can get the effect if you special summon it with Aether. Getting more draws is cute, but the main reason, I think, is that because you can tribute summon Aether during your opponent's turn with this effect, Kuras can be used to interrupt your opponent's plays, like when they, for example, are about to activate Shockmaster on you, or when they special summon Shockmaster, you can tribute summon for Aether, special summon Kuras from the deck, pop a few cards, including the Shockmaster itself. Sure, your opponent will get a few cards, a few draws, but yeah, it's maybe worth it since the shock lock can be devastating. We all know our TCG format is different with the OCG format, so I think this is one of the things that will probably be different for Monarchs here in the TCG. We don't really need Kuras since there are far better options in the main deck over it, and currently we don't have a deck like Performages that can spam out a field of, you know, Shockmaster, Rafflesia and so on. Another thing we occasionally see popping up is Reinforced Truth, the trap card that can special summon Idea during your opponent's turn and setting up, yeah, maybe a much needed defense or tribute fodder for Aether. It's a card I did not overlook myself, but I don't think it's too great here in the deck. Now, it might be a one-off because of the early mentioned reasons, you know, providing some defense, tribute fodder during your opponent's turn, but it's still a trap card, which makes it very slow, and important here is that the OCG only has one Rota available, so that also might be a reason to kind of solve to have the extra main deck option to search out an idea from your deck. One more thing about the OCG Monarch decklist is that the huge lack of continuous spells like March of the Monarchs, which protects your tribute monarchs, so tribute monsters, and the field spell Dominion, both aren't really main decked in OCG Monarchs. It might seem strange, but yeah, I think if we see the OCG metagame, it's quite understandable, since again, Performages and Pals are dominating and Harpy's Feather Duster is also legal. Performages and Pals, they heavily rely on the extra deck, boss monsters like Shockmaster, which is why cards like Kuras and Mega Zaborg are being main decked. In case of Zaborg, just decked once in the main deck to get the effect off and cripple your opponent's extra deck, which is pretty much insta-game against Performages and Pals. And as you know, both March and Dominion don't really work well in combination with Mega Zaborg, since with March you cannot target Zaborg itself for the destruction effect, and Dominion's effect that prevents your opponent from special summoning from the extra deck also doesn't work if you have an extra deck. And we all know the Fire Lake combination of Mega Zaborg and sending both Elder Entity Entis and Omega from your extra deck to the grave to pop up to 3 cards from the opponent, and also pretty much crippling their extra deck. Dominion is sometimes still being used because it's still quite good to get your Mega Monarchs on board with only one tribute. Then we have Burning Abyss, currently taking up 3rd place here in the OCG, so we can somewhat conclude that both Monarchs and Burning Abyss pushed both Atlanteans and heroes away in the metagame. Here's an example of a BA decklist. Immediately we can see that Tour Guide and Skill Drain are still at 3 in the OCG. Must be nice, right? And Beatrice enters the extra deck also at 2 or 3. Very nice. Heck, even the Fusion Burning Abyss is being played because you can special summon it off of Beatrice, and that's quite cool. Also, something interesting is that Fiendish Rhino is also main decked over there. It prevents Fiend-type monsters on your side of the field from being destroyed by battle and card effects. If Rhino is sent to the grave, it will trigger its Foolish Burial effect, and of course that's quite powerful. So Burning Abyss is nicely sitting at place number 3 here. And last, to end of the list, we have Necros sitting at about 7%, still at place number 4, and Heroes are closing the top 5 with only 4%. The remaining 14% are the decks, quote-unquote rogue decks, like Artifacts, Shaddolls, Glyfords, Infernoids, and so on. So to conclude the video, the 2 new decks, both Monarchs and Burning Abyss, enter the OCG metagame with a bang. Of course, this was only the first weekend, so people are adjusting their decks and side decks, trying out the new cards, so it's definitely possible that it doesn't stay this way. Guys, if you have any opinions about this, feel free to leave them down below. Thanks for watching, and feel free to leave a comment or a like if you enjoyed the video. Lithium signing out. Peace.